What's up? Hello, everyone.
What's up, everybody?
The internet is working. Tom here. Yeah, your internet is working now. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Cox Communication sucks. Just put that out there. Going down for maintenance in the middle of a day on Monday.
I was literally in the middle of work when that thing got knocked out.
I'm like,
it won't let me host you.
So I don't know why. You should be able to host me. Welcome to an off day, Weekly Geekly, because of the holiday. So we're on a Monday instead of a Sunday.
After dark.
Yeah, and later, obviously, than normal. So welcome, everyone. Let's go ahead and start with Omega here because he's doing some sort of a skit or something. I don't know if this is supposed to be Saturday Night Live or what it is, but...
is that cognac?
There you have it.
Welcome to the Weekly Geekly. After dark.
Can he even talk? I feel like
where we talk about geeky nerdy stuff.
Have you been sipping on that already? I feel like you've been sipping on that.
Oh
already.
Yeah.
And then we have Cyber over here. Wait, let's wait, hold on. Wait.
He's got more. He's got more.
Yeah.
I get with co-host Syberninja. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Is he trying to do ASMR? I'm not sure.
And now we got our illustrious host over here, DJ Eric.
Yeah.
This show would be nothing without him. Give him a hand, y'all. Give him a hand.
Claps in the chat. So
that's being silly.
Anyway, so we also have Syberninja over here. He's in a little bit of pain, but he's here with us.
We won't talk about it. A little setback. We're good to go, though.
So,
I'm down here. We're ready to go. That's all that matters. The ice pack and pain meds will kick in shortly.
Yeah. So, did I forget to hide it? Where is it at? I don't know where it's at. Somewhere around here. Anyway, so we have 3 topics today, as you guys saw in the title and the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about the Loki trailer first, which I think is kind of exciting. We'll be talking about Godzilla versus Kong. So if you have not seen that, just be warned that we are going to discuss it. It's been a whole weekend. You should have already watched it by now. And we're going to be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we've got quite a bit to go over. And apologies for it being so late, but it's the internet. What are you going to do?
We're still here, though. We're still
around.
Yeah.
We're still around. I was mad. I was going in on them in Twitter. They actually responded to me. The same person responded to me twice.
Wow, really?
On Twitter. Some guy named Brian. Thank you, Brian, for responding.
Actually, I was talking to my mom earlier, and she said her internet went out, and she was like, she went and yelled at them over the phone and gave her like a $12 credit.
Oh, we're already going to be working on something like that. I might have to hit Brian up since he was being so nice on Twitter and say, "Where's my credit at?" So
I know, right?
Yeah. The scary part was I didn't even talk to him directly, and when he responded to me the second time, he's like, "We've checked your router," and I'm like,
"Nope, they didn't."
Ain't the problem.
Yeah.
How did you check my router? I never even gave you my information. So they just mean that they cleared up whatever the issue was. But who in the world does maintenance in the middle of the day on a Monday?
That's
with schools and businesses and stuff running.
Yeah, like I said, I was in the middle of work and I got to make up those hours on a Saturday. Not going to do anything Saturday, but still.
I know. I was trying to watch important stuff online when that was going on. So
totally not porn.
YouTube videos. So just not.
Completely unrelated.
Go ahead.
We had our AC unit completely redone recently because our heat and air was out. Yeah, they were at my house till like 1:30 in the morning, but that's a whole nother thing. It is what it is. But the point is that the guy that came over that was telling us, how much it would be and all this stuff to get it installed. When I was talking with him, and then like he was talking about how every once in a while he'll watch Twitch to go to sleep. And I'm like, Twitch? I'm like, well, you know what? You can find me over at Twitch. And
always trying to advertise.
You got to, right? And he goes,
shameless plug.
But it's funny because he goes, you know what? You kind of sound like you have a podcast voice. And I'm like, well, you know what? Over on YouTube. So
always
looking, right? Always
another thing, and I don't know if this is April Fool's or not, but somebody pointed out to me that YouTube is supposedly relaxing their restrictions on language in videos. Because now,
I heard about that.
But it was on April 1st is when this article was posted.
I heard the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I need some more proof. Give me more information. I want to know more about it.
On that.
But supposedly they're relaxing. Look, I would never go crazy on my podcast, but I would love to not be demonetized. Yeah, I would love to not get demonetized for the slip of a tongue, here and there.
Crap, darn, and heck.
So, yeah.
I mean, usually over on Twitch, I don't
Twitch isn't as restrictive though, right?
No.
I mean, they're not.
No, they're not. But I generally try to
he-
keep it PG anyway, just because of the family that I keep that plays games with me. So usually we do keep the language to a minimum. But it would be nice to be able to say
you. I'm starting to watch my own language
and not get punished for it.
Right, exactly.
Space Jam trailer. We should talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No,
it looks awful. It's for kids. It looks awful. It looks awful.
There's a lot of controversy over that anyway. I don't even know that one.
Why does the rabbit head? Why does the rabbit head bruise?
We're not even going to get into it. There's more than that. There's a lot more controversy than that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about. We've all seen the Loki trailer now, and I think we talked about Black Widow already. Didn't we talk about Black Widow on the?
You guys may have talked about it yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, we may have. I think we probably talked about it off camera. I don't know. Okay, so let's be honest here. I watched the Black Widow trailer and it looks okay. Well, I would get this out of the way. I saw the new trailer. It looks really good. It does give us a little bit more details about the backstory and stuff we're going to be going into, but I don't think it showed me more than what I already knew about the movie. So it's good. I'm excited about Black Widow. I want to see it, but I don't know if it warrants a whole section of this video to talk about. So we'll talk about Black Widow. Like, we've got plenty of time. We'll talk about it in the next weekly. We'll all watch it and break it down.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. And it's going to be coming out on both Disney Plus and the theaters.
Okay.
So there we go. There you go. All right. So the Loki trailer, we've watched it now. This is the next series that's going to be coming out on Disney Plus. And I believe the date is June 11th is for the release date for this. So we're going to have a little bit of a break between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki. I, for some reason, thought What If was going to happen first because of that. But then I looked at it and What If doesn't have, it doesn't have a date yet.
Okay.
But what's taking so long for that is what I'm trying to figure out. That is a series that literally it's a bunch of, basically Elseworlds stories. So I don't understand why we're waiting on that. Can't we just put that out? I don't really know what the problem is.
At least tell us what's it about or something. Because I have a theory that it's going to be something like Love, Death, and Robots. Robot Carnival, just like a series of something like the Animatrix, where it's just a series of different.
Every episode is one individual story. About
it's either going to be animated or live action or CGI or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what I think it's going to be, but who knows?
Right. So Loki, though, after seeing this trailer, I think this is the most excited that I've been for a. Look, we're getting a little bit from Cox there.
Yeah,
you were frozen for a second.
Yeah, there we go. They said they fixed it, Brian. You're a liar. So after seeing the Loki trailer, though, I'm very, very, very excited for the series. I think I'm more excited for this than I am about WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier after seeing it. So you guys saw it. What are your thoughts on it? And then I've got a couple things I want to talk about. Any big thoughts about it?
So I was giving Omega a chance, but
go ahead.
I actually really thought it was really cool. When I heard about the series, Loki was one of my favorite villains, but he's not actually one of my favorite Marvel MCU characters. The reason why is because when you first see him, he's very Thor. He's pretty much Thor. When he shows up to Earth, he's pretty much unstoppable, other than the Avengers or whatever. But when him and Cap were fighting, yeah, right. But then every time you see him after that, he kind of always gets punked, right? He never really is he's not as deadly as they are saying. But it looks like in this, he'll have his chance to redeem himself.
He's a trickster. He's a trickster.
Yeah.
That's what
in terms of being Loki. So I think we're going to see more of what he actually is. And you got to remember, this version of him never took over Asgard.
Right. This is really the one right after the attack on New York, basically.
Right. So he's still got his ways about him. So I'm very excited for it. I'm curious to see where it goes. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with the MCU because it's a different timeline. So,
well, I have theories about that. We'll talk about that in a second. I have some theories about that. But what about you, Omega?
Now, when we first heard about the Loki show, I was just curious about what it was going to be. I didn't know if it was just going to be him doing Loki shenanigans or what. Now it seems like this is almost like a time cop / Doctor Who / MCU movie, which I am all for.
Mm-hmm. So, but you liked it, right? You're excited about the series?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. Now that I
actually
know what it's about, I'm super curious.
I was already excited for it, but this trailer really roped me in. And there's a lot of reasons why in this trailer. There's so many things that got me really excited. But let's talk about the big thing, right? Let's talk about the big thing. This is the thing where when Cyber was talking about how it's not going to affect the MCU, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the Living Tribunal is going to be introduced on Loki.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite cosmic beings.
And if you look here, there's two shots of it. This looks to me like the Living Tribunal, but in the MCU way, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody watching is not familiar with the Living Tribunal, basically this character is a god character. It's
practically God.
they basically hold the balance of the multiverse. They're the characters. It's a 3-headed gold figure that it tries people for doing things
in appearance, sort of kind of.
Yeah. So what we're seeing here, I think, is the MCU interpretation of what the Living Tribunal is going to be. I think it's going to be a cosmic entity, but it's not going to be just a big gold being.
One big guy with 3 heads. It's probably 3 separate beings, but they act as one.
Right.
Which is fine.
And if you want to know, we'll stop sharing that because I want to share this other photo here. So if you want to know what he looks like outside of that, this is what he typically is presented.
Yeah, this guy.
Now, the reason why we were talking about when you were saying is it going to affect the MCU or whatever, is if the Living Tribunal is introduced, then that creates the idea of an overseer of the multiverse because we're getting different versions of Loki. Now, the difference here is Loki, according to the trailer, when he took the Tesseract, he created a domino effect, like a branching timeline that literally just started branching out and then branching out and then branching out. So what he did has caused a major upset in the balance. So this is why I think the Living Tribunal is going to be in the film. I think that is what this interpretation is. And if that's the case, they're going to send this Loki out to correct the problems that he's created from the branches that he's done.
Or basically, they're kind of like, okay, you're technically dead. You are going to fix everything that you messed up.
Right. So,
and along the way, he's going to find the best heroes and villains of the world to create a group of legends.
Right.
Of
like
tomorrow.
I think we will see alternate versions of heroes because they're going to travel across different multiversals or different timelines. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah,
that's what makes me really curious.
Cody here with the $5 super chat and a Team Eric member. It will be because of two things. Kang and us having a term for Gamora is actually a Council of Kings because that's his girlfriend. Well, that's a lot to take in right there. We know we're getting Kang for sure, and we're going to be dealing with that. And I'm pretty sure that Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, is going to dive into some of that. But I'm super excited because literally, I don't think there's very many characters that are more powerful than the Living Tribunal. So there's no way
not really
for Loki to get his way out of, like, he's got to do whatever
he ain't getting out of this.
The Living Tribunal has to do. So based on that, I am super, super excited. Living Tribunal is basically a god, if not the god of the MCU. I mean, the one above all.
Yeah, one above all
basically is the writer of the.
The writer. Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean, other than that, there's only one of him. He exists across all of the multiverse. The Living Tribunal, there's only one version of this. There's Eternity, there's Infinity, there's the Living Tribunal. These are characters that we're going to see in the MCU moving forward. And this is really exciting to me because I like the idea of the cosmic stuff. I think there's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the cosmic stuff is always my favorite stuff when it comes to Marvel, which is why I was so disappointed when the X-Men movies never went cosmic.
Yeah. What if this is the greatest time to introduce the X-Men, though. If you think about it, if they're going to be doing cosmic stuff.
Just popped in my head. Is that
Shi'ar Empire? Imcron Crystal.
God.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff.
I don't want to get my hopes up. Stop it.
Naruto here with the $5 super chat. So, like, the Legends broke time and had to fix it. That was what Cyber was referring to there. So yeah, he's wearing his Naruto jersey up there.
Naruto stuff and
Anbu.
So Lone Wolf here with the $5 super chat and a Team Eric member. Thank you so much. I feel like this show is going to have great cinematography and visually satisfying. If what we saw in the trailer looks absolutely amazing. So I'm very, very excited for this show.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for the cool set pieces.
And I think with all these alternate versions of Loki, do you think one of them is going to settle in and be the new Loki in the MCU, like maybe the female Loki or maybe a different? Because it's going to be really hard to top Tom Hiddleston's.
Who knows?
I think Loki is no longer going to be in the MCU that we are. Or I think this is going to always stay separate. He'll be in the background.
Yeah, probably
doing what he's doing now because people love that character so much.
Yeah.
But there's no room for him to come back in the story.
Yeah, I guess as long as Tom Hiddleston is cool with playing a role.
I mean, in the terms of Thor, with Natalie Portman doing the next iteration of Thor, and then the actual Thor being with Guardians.
Yeah,
maybe down the road, but I think this is just going to be a standalone. But I'm for it.
So Paigey says, "Isn't Young Loki at the end for Young Avengers?" That's what we've been told. I mean, I'm just not sure if that's going to be the only Loki we have left. Ragu here says Loki's renewed for a second season. Normally, I would say that's great, but I know that renewals right now are very much like
it's
a promise without a handshake now. Like if you get renewed, they can literally still cancel your show. And it's crazy to me because one of my favorite shows, Kim's Convenience, which is a Netflix series, it was a Canadian series or whatever, was renewed for like 3 more seasons. They just shut it down. So it's like, that doesn't really mean anything. I'd like to see them go on. But Tom here says, do you feel the show undermines what you thought was the final death of the MCU in the Infinity War?
No.
Not with Loki.
So.
I think Loki doesn't hit me the same way. If this was Iron Man or Captain America, I'd be different about it. But
and besides, they literally show him take his alternate timeline.
Loki's already faked his death once before. Yeah. We've seen a fake Loki death before.
That's why I said this one's not going to come back in our MCU because
he's gone. He's supposed to be out.
Done.
Yeah. So, I don't have a problem with it, to be honest. I know that's probably not the right way to take it, but I feel like Loki, if you're going to bring a character back,
shock value, probably.
So. All right, so you can continue to ask questions about Loki if you'd like, but we are going to move on and talk about, and I'm going to fill up the
because I still reach at
Anna for this. So, spoilers on this. We're going to talk about Godzilla versus Kong. So, if you haven't seen this movie, we're going to talk about this for about 20 minutes, just so you guys are aware. So, this was one of the big movies that came out in theaters and also HBO Max at the same time. And it's a movie that has
surprising success.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a moment. But I do want to say this is a film that was trending like crazy before it even came out. Like it was getting so many hits on social media, YouTube videos hitting 1 million views talking about the trailer. This movie was highly anticipated. Highly anticipated. Apparently, it broke records on HBO streaming or HBO Max streaming. It's probably the most streamed thing they've had so far. More so than Wonder Woman 84, more so than Justice League. It's literally the most watched thing they had on their service right now. And it's made the most money in theaters since the pandemic happened. So this movie broke records in theaters because Tenet didn't do well, and that was like the last, I guess, big movie that came out.
I was kind of disappointed to hear Tenet didn't do well. I was actually interested in that, but
it did look like a good film. But.
Yeah. So, thoughts on this? Were you guys excited for this? I was excited for it. Were you excited for it? Were you not?
I wasn't too excited. I was interested. No, like a lot of things, I was interested, but I wasn't sure if I was really going to watch it. But since I already had HBO Max to watch the Snyder Cut, I figured, why not? I was surprised.
So for me, I am not a huge Godzilla fan. I'm not a huge King Kong fan, but I do like action films. And this film definitely delivers an action, and I knew it would. So that's why I saw Godzilla in the theaters when it was released. What was it? 2017? When did it come out?
Yeah, I want to say 2017, 18.
I don't remember
because we all went to go see it together.
Yeah, and while we didn't think that was a fantastic film, I enjoyed the parts where the big monsters were fighting, which is why you see these films. So as far as it being so successful, I think it's all about timing, right? Right now, people are getting vaccinated. People are able to go out. Movie theaters are open.
This was like the perfect time to release
people
a new
are looking
movie
for something
theaters.
to go see, and this was your biggest movie to go see that was out. So I think it was all about timing, and that's why it's breaking records. Not that I don't think the film doesn't deserve that type of credit, but I think that any big blockbuster film in this specific weekend would have probably done
this. Bodes really well for Black Widow. I think Black Widow is going to do relatively well. I don't think we'll see the numbers we would have seen.
No, it'll be a success, but it won't be as successful.
Yeah. Because it is going to share on streaming services. The real kicker is going to be the next Marvel movie after Black Widow when it's just in theaters. because I truly believe that the next Marvel movie will be a theater only experience. I don't think they're going to do a shared release like they're doing with Black Widow.
Right.
But this movie, like you said, Cyber, you were talking about how it's like all about monsters. Can we talk about the human element of this film before we get to the monsters?
Can we not?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why is it so hard? And I'm curious, and I want the chat to chime in on this. And we're going to do the super chats in a moment. Don't worry, I see your super chats. We're going to get to them. But from the chat, why is it so hard for these movies to find the right balance of human stories in the kaiju fights or the Transformers fights or whatever it may be? Why is it so difficult for them to balance out that aspect? Because for some people, it is important to have the human aspect. For me, I don't care about it. But if you're going to do it,
I mean,
it needs to be done well.
It kind of does need to be there. It has to be like what I say about it. It has to be about the kaiju or about the disaster or whatever's going on. For this sake, about the kaiju. Like with the when they introduced that one guy whose brother went to try to go to the center of the earth and all that stuff. That was actually good because it was about what was actually going on. But the whole thing with Millie Bobby Brown, the girl from Stranger Things, and her friends and all that stuff is like, I really don't care. But when they were actually discussing the kaijus, okay, that was interesting because it gives a little backstory and reason as to why they're fighting. But anything outside of that, I don't care. Shut up.
So essentially, the way that it has to work is they have the human element there to explain the story, because without that, we would just see monsters fighting and not know why.
Which I'm still cool with, but
right. But that's literally all I need them for. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, you have your Krillin in the background explaining the fight to you while it's happening. Oh my God, he's so powerful because he has XYZ. Just give me that commentating in the background and let me just see monsters go at it, because that is the only reason why I see this monster. Now, I do have people that are very heavy into Godzilla lore, and I asked them what they thought of this film, and they said it was very true to how it was back in the day, where they still did very focus on the human element. So maybe that's why they're doing it, but I think mainly it's just to put actors in the movie to make you want to see it, because there is no actor for Godzilla. You know what I mean?
It's CGI. It's
really weird to me anymore. I don't think so. Here's the thing. I understand what you're saying there, but I don't think anyone would go to this movie because an actor they like is in it. Maybe the studio's thinking that, but I don't care. They could have been all no-name actors, like Millie Bobby Brown. Why was she in this movie?
Because I was actually watching.
She was in the other one. That's why.
Yeah, she probably had like a contract or something. Who knows?
I mean, I get that part.
I mean, she wasn't bad. It's just
no, but logically, that's no one's going to see this movie because she's in the movie. Like,
no, and she could have been. If she
anyone.
wasn't in the film, everything would have happened the same.
Yes,
exactly.
She didn't interact with Godzilla at all, right?
Right.
Nope, none. So as far as them like having to explain stuff in the film, they can literally explain Mechagodzilla in 5 minutes. There are monsters fighting. We've been developing this weapon. Here it comes. Right. We're not there for the story, really.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question then. Do you think that these are this? I don't know how to say this because I don't want to sound like I don't like these kinds of movies, because I do. But do you think there's not enough content to make a 2-hour movie out of this, and that's why they have to fill it up?
Probably, yeah.
Because otherwise, it would just be monsters fighting for 2 hours, and I don't think they think
which I'm
that's
fine
worth
with.
It. I think a lot of people are, but I don't think the studio thinks.
Yeah, because studios are freaking out of touch. That's why I said it. You're out of touch, but whatever.
But some of the elements, some of the human elements they had were okay, a little drawn out, and I think a lot of it was drawn out. But the parts that were necessary did get the point across, and overall, it wasn't unwatchable for that.
Yeah, although some of the exposition, especially for me being a freaking conspiracy theory nut.
Well, let's talk about that.
I was like, wow, they actually
let's dive into
that,
because I'll be honest with you, I was excited about this movie before, but I got very excited when they mentioned Hollow Earth and the idea of this.
Because they mentioned that in the last movie,
right? But I mean, we actually see it going into this, and I knew once I heard them mention it, and I saw the little diagram of it and stuff. I'm like, so we're actually going to do this then. We're going to do this Hollow Earth thing.
Yeah,
now, typically,
the conspiracy theory guy mentioning deep underground military bases. I'm like, if y'all know about conspiracy theories, knows about the dumbs in secret budgets.
He's
secret space program.
So Omega seems to me like the person that sits on YouTube and it's like they're watching a video and they see a recommended video in the same conspiracy theory. They click that one.
I just go on and I'll go down a freaking rabbit hole.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. But so we do the Hollow Earth thing, and so I get really excited because I'm like, we're gonna meet a bunch of other kaijus. At first, I was really excited about that. We do meet some different ones, but we don't.
Yeah, meet the major ones.
But I think that's because they want to do another movie.
Yeah. Obviously, especially as successful as this one was.
Besides, Hollow Earth is still relatively big, so
right. What did you think about this? And they didn't spend a lot of time on this, and I'm actually glad they didn't. So the one thing that gets me is there's a very thin line for me between over-explaining how something works and not explaining it at all.
Enough. Yeah, there's like a middle ground you got to have.
I think the idea that Kong just got bigger over time because he just grew, I was like, all right. I mean, it's better than some other over-complicated explanation, and it's better than no explanation at all. So, because he's absolutely huge compared to what he was before.
Point.
So, I mean, thoughts on that? Were you okay with the site? Because he was huge compared to what he was in his in Skull Island.
Well, it's a kaiju. I think, who cares?
I think that the scaling of them are not the same as either one of them were in the other films. And honestly, I think that it's okay. I'm not watching this for details like that. Like that's.
I mean, it'd be nice, but who cares?
If I wanted to nitpick this, there's plenty of things I could pick out. There's no point. I just wanted to watch two big monsters clobber each other.
Jenna says, I actually enjoy the film. If you want an Oscar type film, this is not it. I absolutely agree.
This ain't it.
And I would never go into a movie like this expecting that, which is why, like, I have bars for movies. Like, I have levels of expectations from films. With movies like this, the bar is extremely low because I just want to enjoy what I'm watching on screen. I don't care about the story too much. And with that being said, visually, this movie did everything that I wanted. The battles were awesome in this film, and I really, really liked them. Kong with an axe made out of a Godzilla spine, I thought was absolutely cool. And
I was like, how he does like end up like in the class movie, in the that one clip you always see where he just shoved the tree down his mouth. He does the same thing to this.
Yeah,
I was like, oh. My
so
God,
before we talk about this in detail, were you Team Godzilla? Who was Team Godzilla and who was Team King Kong?
I'm Godzilla all the way.
I am too.
Yeah, Gojira.
Wow, so all three Team Godzilla.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Kong, but I'm all about Gojira.
In the chat, let us know if you were Team Godzilla or Team Kong, because I'm curious who was on which team.
Don't get me wrong, I like me some Kong, but
well, the thing is that when I grew up, I watched Godzilla movies. I wasn't a big Kong movie person, but I know some people that really enjoyed King Kong. And so they resonate with them because he's got a more human element. He does. I mean, you think about it, Godzilla is more of an icon, whereas Kong has a connection with people, and I understand that.
Because that one King Kong movie that had Jack Black in it, which the Peter Jackson Kong movie was great. Yeah, I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah. So, so I'm Team Godzilla, but I just want to see a badass fight. So that's all I really cared about, and we got it a few times. And we also got introduced to this Mecha Godzilla, this giant.
I was when I heard Mecha Godzilla was going to be in it, I was like, oh, please don't mess this up. I think they did a really good job.
No, I think they did.
It didn't look stupid.
Yeah, it's very good. I don't know why they it's so weird, right? Like, I understand for the purpose of the original Mecha Godzilla to do that, but in terms if you were going to create a robot, why make it look the same as the other one? Just make a big robot. Like, why does it have to look like Godzilla?
Because they wanted to be cool. I don't think there was any
cool. Two, it was the head of Gamora. Not Gamora.
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
It was Gamora's. Yeah. It was Gamora's head.
Oh, that's dark. That's dark. But I think it looked cool. I think.
Well, they should have gave him 3 heads.
This is my second one.
Why use the head of King Ghidorah?
Well, that's the only one they had.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
But still, though, I mean, like you would think that creature would still think it has 3 heads. I mean,
it was used to fight. It was used specifically to fight Godzilla. So I guess use Godzilla to fight.
It's
Godzilla.
one of those things where it was a fun thing for them to do.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to think about it too hard because of the fact that will just ruin it there or whatever. So Lone Wolf for the $2 super chat, it says save Mothra.
Why'd you say that name?
I felt for Mothra in that movie. Like, I really did. I was like, Mothra. No, not Mothra. But I was pretty happy
when Godzilla had Kong on it, just stepping on it. It was like, save Mothra. Why'd you say that? I was playing that in my head like an idiot.
Yeah. I was very happy with the movie. So,
yes. Yeah.
On my scale, and I hate that I have to even explain this, I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10, even though I really liked it, because it's just not that kind of movie.
I don't think it was that good at all.
I would say for me it was like an 8 out of 10 for me. I really, really enjoyed it. And I took the points off specifically for the human element. If you take that out of the movie, it would have been a perfect movie. For me. I wouldn't have any problems with it. I thought the CGI was really good. I thought that the character design or the creature designs were really good. I like the idea of Hollow Earth. I just didn't like the human characters completely could have been erased from the movie for me. So what about you guys?
I give it a 7.5. Like I want to give it an 8, but it's kind of like, again, it was like going from the last movie, it was a lot less human drama BS, but it was still just a little bit too much human drama BS. So I was kind of like, I mainly just because like just the exposition from here to here, and especially why did level 33, because 33 made sense. Why did level 33, which is this super secret freaking floor, was totally unguarded? That was stupid, but no, whatever. It's a Godzilla movie. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Exactly. That's what I said. I could nitpick this and really hurt the score, but it's not
literally the human element was the weakest part of this movie. It doesn't matter what section.
This makes no sense. You know what? Who cares? Just Kong is beating the crap out of Godzilla. Just as fun.
They could the next movie if they gave me one cutscene with humans and that's it, and the rest of it's just monsters. I would be totally happy with that.
I don't care if it was only an hour and 30 minutes. I'd be okay with that.
I respect the 7.5, but I give it a 6.5.
So crazy cat lady gamer reviewer with the $2 super chat. I got Kevin Conroy in my last video at Team Kong. So that is the voice of Batman from the animated series. That's awesome.
The voice of Batman, in my opinion.
Yeah. Pagey with a $2 super chat. Godzilla versus Kong or Snyder Cut.
Oh my God.
Wow, he says, I know Cyber preferred the Snyder Cut.
I will watch the 4 hours of Snyder Cut over anything else other than
totally not sarcasm.
Other than reruns of the Weekly Geekly.
Totally not sarcasm.
Yeah, I don't even know how to compare them because Snyder Cut to me isn't really a film; it's like a mini series. But
oh my God, Naruto, come on, dog.
Yeah, he's a $5 super chat. Well, Omega, we now know GVK is in the MCU, so it could be Gamora's. Let's not even get into that. Yeah, because we mentioned that
yesterday. We mentioned that yesterday. No. Just no.
All right. So before we move into the next topic, we have a couple of off-topic super chats. One of them is from Naruto here. It's a $5 super chat. What if we get an actual Fox X-Men cameo?
Yeah.
Probably the one thing that could happen now. Talking about Loki, I guess. Right?
Yeah, going Loki.
It could. It could. I wouldn't get my hopes up for anything like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't get my hopes up. It's interesting. It's fun to theorize and interesting if it did, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah.
Nope. I think the next super chat's probably going to explain that later, if I'm reading that right.
Hiccups all of a sudden.
Lone Wolf here. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
$5 super chat. So mutants, Kevin Feige stated they won't be introduced until 5 years from now. Until being stuff set before they got right to the X-Men. So that makes sense. If you think about it, they had
all this stuff planned a long time ago and did when they got the right steps.
Basically two phases ago, they knew what they were going to be doing in this phase.
And then like in the middle of all that, they got the X-Men right. So and it was like, oh crap. What do we do now? It's not going to be a while till we see X-Men.
It's literally like just a few years from now, we'll start seeing sprinklings of the X-Men.
Yeah, honestly, I think there's probably gonna be some sort of hard reboot or soft reboot or something before we see X-Men.
The multiverse. That's what this whole phase is about.
Yeah, it may be the multiverse thing.
The multiverse can do it, and if they do the multiverse right, they can have it parallel with what's actually happening. They don't have to wait the 5 years. They can still do both stories.
Right.
I think that if they wait too long,
they can't wait too long.
Right. If they wait too long, I think they might do. I think they might do a Disney Plus thing before they make a motion picture. Honestly,
which should be fine. I'm cool with that.
Based on what we're getting on the Disney Plus series, I would actually prefer a mutant series, like a 6 or 8 episode series.
Yeah, it don't even have to be the X-Men. Just like some random mutants who just discover their powers or something.
Yeah. So pretty good. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be sort of a discussion about episode 3 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we're going to dive a bit more into some of the theories. We didn't get to do that in our Ran review with me and Omega, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it is up on my channel.
Just a little quick review. I didn't really go too much in detail.
Right. So we're going to talk about this now because Cyber did not get a chance to give his thoughts on the episode. So I'd like to hear a little bit about that. So oh my gosh, here we go. So anyway, let's I'd like to throw this up at the beginning just in case, because people. So Lone Wolf goes, I can't wait to see Moon Knight. $2 super chat for that. That's going to be interesting. Are you guys excited for Moon Knight, by the way, at all?
I'm interested. Not too jazzed about it.
Yeah,
think
it's
Syberninja?
yeah. No, I think it's okay. I'm
Is
interested.
is he
I don't
freezing
know.
up?
I don't know what he's doing.
No, I was, he not the way it looks like he's my puppet.
Okay. I didn't
That's
understand what you
a-
were doing there. Tom here, a leftover comment from the last discussion with
Oh, I was
$5
frozen for a little bit.
Godzilla was just jealous of them copying him and killed people and attacked Kong for no reason. How could you possibly side with them? Two things wrong with that. Number one, it wasn't for no reason. He's literally driven by the desire to be the king of the monsters.
He's Goku.
Yeah.
It's a biological thing with him. So everything he did was based on that. That's like getting mad at a lion for attacking someone who walked up to a lion and provoked it.
Yes, this is my territory. Get out, or you bow down or get out.
Yeah, animals are going to do what animals are going to do.
Yeah, it's basically just a turf war.
Paigey here with a $5 super chat for an entire day, 24 hours. Would you rather wear cheekless chaps or Snyder Cut merch? Obviously,
I always wear cheekless chaps. I'm wearing them now.
Naruto here. Cyber, are you sad Bucky wasn't turned by Zemo, or are you just happy he tried?
I'm happy he tried. I'm so happy.
I was just saying. I was saying that yesterday.
When he walked in and the words started going, I was like, yes.
First thing,
he's like, it doesn't work. I'm like, no, but I respect it. So yeah, I was super happy. I was psyched.
Yeah, people are joking because I only put FATW instead of the S, but it serves its purpose. I tried to keep it as short as possible.
Falcon and the winter spoilers.
Because if I do too much, it covers up Omega if we pull up anything on the screen. So it's like
right now his bit rate is horrible, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, his is going worse than mine, which is crazy.
Crystal clear, baby.
So Cyber,
the only reason why you guys are here.
You didn't really get a chance to talk about the episode. So
I did not.
Why don't you just give your general thoughts on this third episode, Power Broker, and then we'll dive into some of the theories and stuff like that.
I think a lot of stuff happened in this episode very fast, but I'm 100% okay with that because there's only 6 episodes. So they didn't waste a lot of time getting where they need to go. And I am, you know me, I'm all for that. Everything that they did seemed to be pretty good. All the steps were in play. The little Easter eggs were fine. I know that we're going to talk about theories on the Easter eggs that were in the show, so I won't delve into that much. I thought the action was great. We got to see Winter Soldier be Winter Soldier for a bit, so that action was awesome. Seeing Sharon and everything that happened with her since the blip and all that, it's quite interesting. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I was on the edge of my seat, and I can't wait for next week or this week.
So what would you? We already gave our scores on it. What would your score be for this episode?
It's honestly, I think this is like a 8.5 out of 10. I loved this episode. I thought it was fantastic. It's definitely this show is ramping up, and it's definitely going somewhere. And that very last end scene was just. I was like, "Oh, here we go!"
Wakanda in the house, like
here I know, right?
It's coming full circle here, which I think is crazy. And we're seeing this. So I get so frustrated because obviously during the pandemic, a lot of stuff has been delayed. Yeah. But when it comes together, it really just comes together, and I feel like they've done a really good job of making everything sort of roped together here. And speaking of Zemo, so. We've had a little time to think about it, and we hadn't had a chance to talk to Cyber about it. Do you think they're setting him up to go long term, or do you think this series is going to be it for him? I have a feeling he's going to go long term, but I'm curious what you think.
I think this series is it for him.
You think so?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think I've run into people talk about this before, where they always say stuff like they're tired of villains. I'm kind of like this way too, where villains getting their redemption arcs.
Yeah.
Like from John Kreese in Cobra Kai to, Loki in a lot of ways, they always try to make you sympathize with the villain, or more or less try to make you understand where they're coming from. Some people just want to watch the world burn. I feel like with them trying to make Zemo look as important as he is, I think at the end he might actually do something to try to redeem himself, and in turn probably cost him his life or get put back in prison. I don't think he's going to be a long-term villain. I think he's going to be one and done.
What about you, Omega? Because we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Have you thought any more about that? Or
because when it comes to like redemption arcs and everything, like I play a lot of paladins and clerics in D&D and stuff. So I am all for the I'm all for the redemption arc and everything. Because even when how can I say this? Because when I used to play Skyrim, you remember spoilers for Skyrim. When you finally meet Parthenax, and he said, and Delphine wants you to kill him, and he's like, "Is it better to be good your entire life, or to be evil? Know you did wrong, and to correct that, and to basically correct yourself from then on." From that point, I was like, "I am never killing you ever." Delphine could eat it. So I'm all for redemption arcs. I'm a sucker for redemption arcs.
So I don't think they're trying. So this is my opinion. I don't think they're trying to change anybody's opinion of Zemo. Yeah. I think Zemo is he's always been very self-oriented. Like he's a character that doesn't really care about anybody but himself. Mm-hmm. And as long as whatever he's doing benefits him in some way, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. That's how I feel about him. And we see that with his mentions of Sokovia. He talks about Machiavelli. He talks about, when he goes in with Bucky and Sam and Sharon to talk to Dr. Nagel, he's going to kill Dr. Nagel because he doesn't want super soldiers. He's not sharing that information with them. He's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to benefit myself.
He has his own agenda.
So I don't think that I personally don't think they're going to try and redeem him. I think they're trying to just give us a different perspective on that character and maybe dive a bit more into him. I could be wrong. Maybe they are going to redeem him, but I feel like if you're going to redeem somebody, redeem Bucky because he needs a redemption. Redeem Sharon Carter. Don't redeem.
Well, I think more or less like going more into his story, so you can kind of be like, oh, well, XYZ with this character, because in Civil War, he's like he essentially won what he was trying to do. He succeeded. And so when they went to go get him, we all want him to get, out and wanted him to be Baron Zemo and do his Zemo stuff. But at the end of the day, do we really want him to still be around? He beat the good guys.
I actually wouldn't mind him continuing on, but I don't think we need him to be what he was before. I think he has to be something different than what he was before.
But after the super soldiers are gone, what's his purpose?
We don't know if they're all going to be gone, though, because we know there's only 8 serums that have been used, so we're not totally sure. We'll see. I just wanted to get some perspective on that. Yeah. So this is kind of interesting, and I'm going to bring this up because I have an answer for this, and I think it's weird that John Campea didn't realize this. Maybe he did. I don't really watch his videos, but if he said this, let's point this out. So a $10 super chat from Lone Wolf here goes, so I was watching John Campea show. He pointed out something I didn't realize. A banker recognized Sam as Falcon. A kid recognized him in the club, yet nobody knew him. They literally made a point when they showed the picture of Smiling Tiger to say, he looks just like me. That's exactly what he said when he
he's like, oh wow, he does look like me. Yeah.
So it's not like these people would have immediately thought that he was Falcon when he was dressed up the way someone they already know is.
And didn't he have sunglasses on too? So that kind of like maybe obscures or hides the face a little bit.
Look, maybe you got to remember something. And the MCU, I think he did. If you wear a cap with no label on it, you're disguised. Okay, this guy rolled a nat 20 on disguise self. Didn't get recognized.
I mean, I could see it if this was a situation where they didn't address it, but they literally addressed it in the episode. He said he looks just like me. Yeah, it was a line in the episode. And one thing I've always said is, if you're going to do something that would be a plot hole, give me a line in the episode that just takes care of that.
Even when they meet, what's her name? She was even like, "You look a little taller than you usually like.
Right.
Look a little different or something like that."
Right. We can argue that people like, and I think someone else pointed out, Jeremy Johns. I think. Do you guys watch him? He does movie reviews, but he pointed out that he's like,
my brother does stuff.
Well, he said that if you saw someone walking down the street that was known for doing anything, would you automatically recognize them? Like if you saw someone in the news that's big on the news walking down the street next to you or something, unless they're like Mariah Carey or something like that, you're not going to immediately go, you're not going to know that person.
Honestly, I think the only person that would have recognized that maybe should have was the bartender, because he said, do you want the usual? So clearly he sees him on a more consistent basis, but I mean, it's not unheard of.
Even so, it looked just like him. So I mean, like, I still feel like that's close enough. But
besides, it's dark.
That's a weird nitpick. That's like you're looking for something to complain about at that point.
Which I normally would, but I get it. But
my bigger nitpick is why he had a phone on in his pocket with the GPS. Yes,
I agree with that. 100%.
That's a bigger problem for me than not recognizing him. So. $2 super chat from Beiji. Can we get a cover of Bad Guy from you? Talking about the what is it? Huh?
The Billie Eilish song?
Yeah. That's I was thinking, was there another one, but that's the only one, right? I mean, I don't know. That's Paige.
I
That's
live
like
under a rock.
that was like out last year. Can you pick something more current, please?
Oh dang!
Well, you got. I mean,
Your whole channel's about nitpicking, but I'm not. That's addressed in the episode. That's what I'm saying. They addressed it in the episode. He literally looks at the picture and goes, "Oh, this guy looks just like me." If he never did that, then I might nitpick it. But they address it in the episode. They don't address the fact that he has a phone on him that has GPS on that's literally turned on.
with this ringer. Like,
Right.
clearly he doesn't go undercover much.
Yeah.
Rick here with a $1.99 super chat. Hey, first time super chatting. Well, thank you for super chatting. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to the show. There's a song by Eminem titled Bad Guy. Is there?
I think so. Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. But outside of that, Smiling Tiger in the comics doesn't even look like the character unless they've changed him in the show. Like in the comics, he's like a red and orange like character with blades on his hands. So completely different character. Completely different character. They changed him for the MCU. This isn't the first time they've done that though. So Sharon Carter, let's address this, and I want the chat to chime in. I really, really want the chat to chime in on this because this is a point of contention. Did Sharon get snapped away during the Thanos snap and come back?
I don't think so.
Or did she not? Because I have read articles that said she did, and I've seen people say that she didn't.
I have no idea.
I had looked it up today. I can't find a definitive answer on it. So I'm just curious.
It's only been a few months since they've come back. There's no way she's established herself as what she is there in a few months.
Yeah.
So
see, even the chat is torn on it. Some people saying no, some people saying
no, some say she did.
If she came back and established an entire
empire,
yeah, pretty much
a totally underground black market art
in a few months,
right?
So no, she would have been doing this over years, and it's even worse because with all of the Avengers that did get snapped and gone, she had nobody, man. That's tough.
So we're under the impression that she did not get snapped away.
I don't think she did. I think she was standalone on the run, nobody to call, and this is what she has had to do to survive.
Cody's got the inside information. You can do that in 6 months, honestly. Well, tell me.
Yeah, what?
How do you sell art that way? Because I want to know, Cody, what's your
NFT?
Secret? Cody, NFT. Are you running a black market art dealership on the side?
NFT.
If you are, I want in on it.
You said
wait, how long in the game does this show take place? So I believe they said 6 months.
6 months, I think, is the maximum.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was like, I think it's 5 or 6 months. They're like, they said it 20 times in the episode. I'm like, okay, chill. It's like half a year. Like half a year. Like there's not a big difference between 5 and 6 months, guys. Like 28, 30 days, whatever. Like, yeah. So anyway, I believe it's about 6 months after.
Somebody says that they implied she went missing. Of course, she went undercover. She didn't want to be found. I don't think there's no way she got snapped.
Isn't it kind of messed up?
I don't think she got snapped.
Lone Wolf, this is big facts. Her fight scene.
Absolutely.
So literally, this was me when I was watching. I'm like, wow. Then like shots through the head and stuff. I'm like, this is Disney.
This is Disney Plus, right?
What,
yeah,
they're throwing spikes through people's shoulders. She's shooting people in the forehead. I'm like, really? Like, I did not expect, because WandaVision didn't go in like that. This one did, though. I'm glad they did.
Her scene was absolutely brutal. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Jeez.
But Newt was saying that she was showing missing in Endgame, but so was Ant-Man. Missing doesn't mean snapped.
That's true. Yeah. She was on the run. Ant-Man was on that list too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is interesting from Introverted Unicorn. Episode was written by the same guy that did John Wick.
Explains a whole lot.
It does.
That
because it was very John Wick.
Before we move on, hold on. Before we even move on, can we talk about how we almost got our Winter Soldier back during that bar scene?
Right?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm thinking, oh no. He went when he said Winter Soldier attack. I was like, let me just I'm gonna throw my scissors on the floor. Like, I could not contain myself during that scene.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was like, can you just do this for the next 3 episodes, please.
I rewound it several times and I'm like, man, this fight, because that's my dude. Like, that's my favorite character next to Wanda is the Winter Soldier. And when that happened, I had chills. I was like, okay, he's back. He didn't even have to use the passwords. And that's when Zemo was like, there's still a little bit of Winter Soldier in there, right?
I mean,
he
still has a muscle memory or whatever, but it's just
I got 2 pairs of scissors. I'm on
controlled.
the other pair. 2 pairs thrown. There we go. Don't even ask why I have 2 pairs of scissors. I don't know.
They put this away.
Naruto said, so weird hearing the S word on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I loved it. I thought just amazing, amazing.
Then
stuff,
again, I've been watching a lot of Star Wars Rebels lately, and
we're not talking about that. Okay, so here we go.
I'm saying that gets kind of brutal too sometimes. Like, hey, kid show.
I'm just actually surprised that they're producing stuff now that's doing that. So yeah. But yeah, very excited about that. Somebody said, can we talk about Zemo dancing? I think it was Tom there. I watched the episode twice and it was funny watching it. The music was really good this episode. I was like, this music is really good. The cinematography was really good. Madripoor, again, introducing the aspects of like the X-Men stuff. I know a lot of people were creating theories around that. The Skull Island reference. There was a lot of stuff in this episode that could have led into other things. And I think they're just dropping little things for us, like little Easter eggs and things like that for us to.
I don't think Kong and Zilla and Gamera and the rest of them, I don't think they're in the MCU because they're freaking kaiju. They're enormous.
Can we talk about how in the book that Captain America had, where he was trying to catch up on things, that he had Star Wars on that list? Natalie Portman acted in Star Wars, so if he watched that, he would have been real confused as to who Thor's girlfriend is.
Yeah, wow, she looks really.
Why was there secret? I actually thought that was kind of smart to put the secret base inside of a shipping facility.
And some of the conspiracy theories I've been reading about.
I mean, you can argue about it.
Things you can do with shipment containers.
The best place to hide is in plain sight, I think, sometimes. But
you would think it's just a bunch of merchandise or whatever. You won't even look twice at a shipment container.
$5 super chat from Lone Wolf. Which fight would you say had a better crowd for scene? Winter Soldier, Sharon. And look, this is coming from somebody that loves the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Sharon.
But Sharon was like, you know what? I've been gone for so long. I'm just gonna go the F in as hard as I can. And so she did it in that scene. So really, really enjoyed it. What did you guys think about the banter between Sam and Bucky? Because there was a lot of moments that were quite
funny.
Quippy
yeah, those two together are gold, man. I think that they should, if they're not always together, they should always have a scene together in whatever film. If they, obviously get together, they should always just.
You still ain't gonna move your chair up, are you?
Sam getting so mad that Bucky broke Zemo out was one of the funniest scenes. He was so pressed about that.
No, you ain't talking about hypotheticals anymore, are you?
I was like, oh my God. So that was pretty hilarious. But just so much about this episode was really, really strong. The Sharon Carter stuff, let's dive into that a little bit deeper because she was very different now than she was when we left her several movies ago. Because she is angry. How messed up was it that they just literally didn't clear her name after all this?
She went missing. She was snapped. You can't clear the name of someone who's snapped.
I get that, but there's a lot of military soldiers that get like after they died, they still get like medals of honor and they get cleared.
Posthumously.
Like after you think she's gone, missing, dead, whatever, you can still clear her. You can say she's clear of charges. Like I get that she was like, hiding out for her own safety and everything, but where were all her friends? She's like, I'm not an Avenger, so I didn't get the kind of like reception that you guys got or whatever after all this happened. And so that was kind of interesting to me that she just kind of was on the run and doing all of this. And she was salty. She's like, I don't believe in all this superhero stuff. Do you guys really believe in it? She's doing all this stuff with them and talking about her business and how, obviously Sam now, especially with the information that Dr. Nagel gave about the super soldier stuff with Isaiah and everything, he's not team government right now. Sam is not feeling team government at the moment. So
I think I think she's a bad guy right now. I think she was saying something too. Didn't she say like you messed up my investigation? Is that what she said?
There's a lot of questionable stuff that she did in this episode.
Yeah.
Number one, the big one for me is she knew where Dr. Nagel was.
Yeah. Yep.
She knew where he was. She basically knew what he was doing. And then after he was killed, she immediately told her driver, we have a problem.
Yep.
And it's weird too, because like, what is she, if she was investigating, her name's not clear. Who's she investigating for?
Exactly. Red flags, right?
So,
Tom, they left her. Like, that's not literally not like her, like no one cared about her. How could, if your best friend
didn't he kiss her too? He was he's like, what's up, man?
We're gonna get into that in a moment.
Boy.
Well, let me say, Tom, like if your friend is not on speed dial, like this is like you and your friend go out and do some dirt together and you let them take the fall and then you never talk to them again. That is not your best friend.
Cap is not your
not your best friend. That is literally the opposite of an acquaintance. They're almost a stranger. Like there's someone that you may know.
You don't even have like, and the thing was, that's crazy, man. And he went back in time. He didn't even say, you know what? I'm gonna build a life with Sharon. He's like, nope, I'm going back in time to get with your grandmother.
They spent that time setting up that romance, and it was just like, what?
That's crazy.
Lone Wolf here with the $2 super chat. Who do you think the best actor currently on the show? That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think Sam is killing it. I think Anthony Mackie is absolutely killing it.
He is literally the core of, he's the heart of that show.
Yep. I think he's carrying it because Sebastian Stan, again, it's hard to gauge somebody's acting skill based on the fact they're not supposed to be charismatic. Mm-hmm. So, he's supposed to be like,
he's supposed to be like kind of robotic.
So it's hard to be like, he's killing it, but it's also hard to be very emotional and comedic in the same breath. And Anthony Mackie is doing that fantastic. He's killing it.
So Gary has a non-topic related super chat, but we'll go ahead and answer this quickly because I do want to talk a bit more about Sharon. Do you think they could continue the show that without Oliver? And do you think they'll have the mystery of Oliver? Have the mystery of Oliver, and I won't be in the next stream. I'll be at my parents'. Okay, well, that's cool, Gary. I appreciate it. You talk about Arrow. If they could continue without Oliver, I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see it either. Yeah.
I mean, they could, but do we really want that?
Nope.
I don't know if people really want that. So no, we're not mad at you, Gary. You can save that super chat. We're not mad at you. But we do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. All right. So there's a theory that Sharon is the power broker. Do you think she's a power broker or do you think she's working with the power broker?
I think she's working with.
Probably. Yeah.
I think she's working with. I don't think she is the power broker, but I do think that she is probably some muscle for the power broker, which is weird to say considering super soldier serum. But I do think that she has ties to the power broker in some way.
Yeah. Naruto hopping in at just the right moment. $5 super chat. I don't know why, but I'm thinking she could be the power broker. Could be. I think it's a fair assessment to think that she could be. I think it's a fair assessment.
I think it's I don't want to say too early because there's only 3 episodes left, but I think it's too obvious, in my opinion. Because if that's the case, they wouldn't have been at the end of the episode. Why would they have her say we have a problem if they wanted it to be like a plot twist that she's the power broker?
Right. Also, I think that her fighting skills are much better than they were when we first met her. So I think she's been doing this for a while. I think the art thing is a cover.
Yeah.
I think
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So paid you with a $5 super chat. I think they'll explain Black Panther shift change and Falcon the Rest. Also Mega looking like Zemo a bit today. Cyber looks like Ezra Miller. Wow, that's
that's an insult.
You want to fight?
I know, right?
You want to go?
Look, Omega's like Baron Zemo. I'll take it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Got me looking like the Flash up in here. I can get over there pretty quick, I'm just saying.
I don't think they're going to even address the Black Panther stuff in in this series.
Nah,
but
it's just going to be AO wanting to know where Zemo is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Canada Graph's just totally upset and angry. Can't you tell? I threw 2 pairs of scissors. Don't make me throw a third. Just gonna put that out there.
Shame to you.
Don't ask me why I have 3 pairs of scissors on my desk. So Sharon, so being the power broker, I guess it's pretty. This show, like I said, the mysteries on the show aren't the same as they were on WandaVision because they
this is straightforward.
They sort of lead you in a direction. So either she is the power broker or she's connected to the power broker, or the other third off the side option is her investigation is she's working for a company that isn't the government that is going after the power broker. That could be the investigation she's talking
yeah,
about.
that I could agree with that as well. But what group?
We don't know. What if it's the Fighters? No, I'm just kidding. $5 super chat from Sam here. He goes, do you think they'll reveal the power broker? I think they'll reveal the power broker before the end of the series.
I think it'll be next episode.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be pretty soon.
Yeah, he is saying, I'd probably say either next episode or sometime in the middle, somewhere in the middle.
Laura says she could be a double agent. I would say that except for the fact that she's still acting like she's been.
Yeah, I don't think she is, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think she's going to be the next Widow.
So, really?
Probably.
Maybe. They've confirmed that the last, I don't know if they'd lie about this, but they confirmed that the last thing that Chadwick was going to be in was the What If series. So, unless they're completely lying about that, I don't know. Not sure.
I don't think they would.
Cody says, I think the power broker is an outside force. I mean,
probably.
Maybe, possibly.
It's going to be Hammer Tech. Okay,
so let us Hammer Tech. That's a deep cut. Lord says, anyone else think it was Nakia at first? I don't know how it's pronounced. I don't think I've ever heard it said Nakia. Because when Ao showed up at the end, I know a lot of people thought it was Okoye, but I immediately was like, no, it's Ao.
Okoye is much bigger.
Yeah, she's the one. She was in Civil War, right?
Yes. Yeah. She was the one that told Natasha,
"Move or we'll move you."
Yeah. Wouldn't they keep it a surprise? It's unlikely, but possible, I guess. I don't think because remember, Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't finish filming before the pandemic ended or started. I mean, so with Chadwick's passing, I don't know time-wise if that would have been something that would have.
I would love to see more Chadwick, but I don't think he's in it. It would be cool though.
Yeah. So with the Sharon stuff, it is time to talk about Endgame and how that affects this movie, because this is one of the Sharon things that I think I talked about in my video, and there's been several articles about it. Sharon, if Steve Rogers went back in time and was with Peggy Carter, Sharon would have known who Steve was at the time. Now, she might have known he was Captain America, but she would have known who Steve was at the time. And then eventually later on, she would have met the Steve that we know before the timeline when he went back in time or whatever. And that's assuming that that Captain America didn't create a branch timeline when he went back in time.
Yeah, when he went back in time, it was a different timeline.
But there's conflicting stories from the creators on this topic. So before we wrap things up, I do want to talk about this for a moment. So here's the thing. Do we believe the writers of the movie or do we believe the directors? That's really what this comes down to. So it says here, the writers, which was Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, say, does this mean that old Cap was hanging out the whole time while the other Captain America was saving the universe? And they respond with, that is our theory. We're not experts on time travel, but the Ancient One specifically states that when you take an Infinity Stone out of a timeline, it creates a new timeline. So Steve going back, just being there, would not create a new timeline. So I reject the Steve is an alternate reality theory. I do believe there's simply a period in a world from history from about 48 to now where there are two Steve Rogers. And anyway, for a large chunk of that time, he's frozen on ice. So it's not like they'd be running into each other. So that's from the writers of the script. Now, keep in mind, they say they're not experts on time travel, but from their perspective, they're saying that this is what they intend, or this is how they intend it to happen. From the director's perspective, which is the Russos, based on everything that happened, he would have been in a branch reality and then had it shifted over to ours. So jumped from one to the other and handed the shield off. One thing that's clear that Anthony and I have discussed, I don't know that we've discussed this publicly at all. Cap would have had to travel back to the main timeline. That's something that, yes, he would have had to been in a branch reality, but he would have had to travel back to the main timeline to give the shield to Sam Wilson. That, to me, is more complicated because how did he get back to our timeline? He had to come back to he didn't come back through the device. The device was sitting there. He just showed up on the bench. So unless the directors completely missed the mark on that, the writers actually have the most believable answer. Because if he didn't change anything, he didn't create a branch reality, which means that Sharon would have known him.
I think the biggest problem is they messed up time travel so bad in Endgame that if you take what the Ancient One says versus what they actually did, it doesn't make sense. Because for him to go back, like when he went to, oh my God, no, it had to be a.
This is why you don't do time travel.
Old Cap is 100% a plot hole in my opinion. I can't argue against that. To me, that's one of the biggest problems with the MCU was the old Captain America scene, which had to happen because we needed the closure, but it doesn't add up based on the way they explain time travel with the Ancient One.
Yeah.
And the whole Loki series, which is going to be based on branch realities and branch timelines. I mean,
it's so messy because all the other places he went to were branch timelines. Because there's just, it doesn't make sense, and when you think about it too much, it ruins the film. Honestly,
as a fan of The Walking Dead, I knew it wasn't Okoye. Hey, look, old school OG Walking Dead. Michonne in the house. I haven't watched that show in so long.
She's a great actress too.
$5 super chat. No Pagey. LOL. Cyber is Grant with glass as well as Omega is Chester P. Runk. Eric is. Why do I got to be Mick Rory?
I had to look up Chester P. Runk, and I was like, "Holy crap, he does look like me."
That's like one of my least favorite characters. Like you knew that, Lone Wolf. That's why you made me that character. I think he's one of the most useless characters in the Arrowverse right now. Anyway, but yeah. So I will say this: I love the MCU, but I have to call it as I see it. The time travel stuff was not handled well.
Yeah, Endgame was, and I mean, for what it was for the last, what they did in combining all the films, that film was just a mess.
I understand the one's explanation of time travel and alternate timelines. And if we would have gone with that, I would have been fine. But the Captain America element is a problem.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Lord Genome here. It's the rule of cool. Just roll with it. Don't think too much about it.
The problem is though that it creates so many issues moving forward because now this whole show is tied so closely to Captain America that it's hard not to think about that.
It's like, this is why you don't do time travel.
Right. That's exactly why you don't do time travel.
It just gets weird.
It's okay if you do it the way they originally explained it as branching reality.
Yeah, it's like you got to
branching timelines.
If you're doing time travels, you have to stick through you have to establish the rules for it, and you have to freaking stick to them like glue. It's like if you deviate from your rules, everything falls apart.
Or you do it like Doctor Who and just don't care. Like Doctor Who's time travel doesn't have much rules at all, and if any.
It's either you have no rules or you have strict rules and you follow them.
Because the thing is that
this one they established rules and they kind of broke them.
Yes. Tom says, hopefully Loki answers all these questions. I think Loki's just going to complicate it even more. But
it's
probably. Probably.
I look at it this way.
I don't think there is a explanation from anyone that anyone can give me that explains our Captain America existing in our timeline without it being a plot hole. I just don't think there is. I think if he's going to come back, he would have had to come back in a specific way. If he spent time with Peggy from another, like, here's my thing. You spend time your entire life with Peggy in a branch reality or branch timeline. I keep saying reality because they say they've interchanged those words. Yeah. Branch timeline. And why would you come back to our timeline to give Sam the shield? It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense because it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Because you can just give the shield to the Sam in that timeline.
Yeah, it doesn't
because now in that timeline there's no Captain America to carry on the banner.
Right, that's my
there's no shield there.
If you were in that really branch timeline and you didn't make any other changes except being with Peggy, then that timeline should literally unfold the same way that this one did. Which means
if you think about it, there was no if in that timeline too, Cap would have aged normally, which means he wouldn't have been there for the whole fight at New York. He wouldn't have been there for any of that.
Right.
Like there's so many problems with all of it. It's bad.
Yeah. So I love the MCU, and even Paige will call me an MCU shill because I always talk about it, whatever. But I will say that the Captain America thing for me will never, ever work. I
will never lie. I am a huge MCU fan, but I will call it what it is when it deserves it. And that was a mess. It was a mistake. And you can't fix it.
Klaus here says old Cap felt like fan service and or out for Chris Evans, and not only made no sense plot wise but character wise. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe he was going through one timeline, then when he went back and then
just lived his
life.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
See, look. See there. See, he's already called me out on it. He says I'm looking a bit like Zack Snyder. Oh, well, there you go. Talking about time travel. I know, mind blow. It is.
Yeah,
That's exactly what the
weird.
writer said. The writer's like, we're no experts on time travel because they wrote it as simple as it could be, and then the directors decided to change it up a little bit, and so that's why it is.
And then when you get to like other time travel theories, saying how eventually like you have different times, but then when you go back and do things like just snap back
the only reason
together
I brought this up is
correct itself. I'm like
where Captain America lived his life in our timeline and then just got old and died or whatever, that Sharon would have known him, which means that she would have been able to tell them, like, screw you guys. I knew him longer than you did. Like, I've known him my entire life, basically.
Yeah, but that's even worse if he did and still let her.
I know.
Take the fall.
That's why I can't, when I'm watching the show, I can't help but think about that.
She got it like worse than all the
superheroes. It's an unanswered question. Like it would be great for me if Sharon came out and said, look, I knew Captain America growing up when he was with Peggy or whatever. If she just dropped that one little truth bomb, then that would clear it all up. But I don't know if they're going to do that or not because we're already beyond that point now. So I don't know. Not totally sure. Lone Wolf here, $5 super chat. Eric, your start because the Cyber. Would you try to start impression? Wait, Cyber, could you try to do a snart impression for fun? Ooh. Oh, he doesn't even. Do you remember what snart sounds like? I mean,
snart from
Captain Cold from Legend of Tomorrow.
Oh God,
he has kind of a nasally, whiny voice.
It is. No, I can't. I would have to if I could like pull up a clip of it now, which we won't do. But if I could pull up a clip of it and just like I could, but not off the fly. I don't remember enough of it.
Sharp 44 mag 499 super chat. Why didn't Cap give Sam the shield before he time traveled? No need because he
that shield. No, that shield was busted. Remember, Thanos broke it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But either way, though, when he went back in time, he wouldn't have given away something that he could have needed. So
also, if he went back in time and took that shield, then that means that shield wasn't there for this timeline for them to have to fight Thanos. There's so many problems with it, guys.
Yeah.
Timelines eventually snap back together and correct itself. I'm going by that
Don't
theory.
think too hard about it.
Yeah, just don't think too.
At least the Mjolnir stuff makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean
that was like it.
But does it really? Because that means that Thor.
No, because he took it back to that time specifically, so it went back. So it was like it was never gone.
But we know Jane Foster is going to have it eventually. So where does that come from? So there we go. All right, this is going to be the let's do a 10-minute warning. This will be a 10-minute warning for super chats, and then we're going to wrap everything up. So anything else in this episode that you like? Obviously excited about the Wakanda stuff, the super soldier serum. We now have estimated 12 doses that have not been used yet,
and one of the super soldiers was killed.
So that means 7 super soldiers now and 12 doses left.
Right.
Do you think that John Walker?
Yes.
Is going to get one of those doses and take it.
I think John Walker will, potentially Battlestar, and I think Sam might actually get it.
I hope Sam gets it.
Yeah.
I don't think Sam's going to get it, but I don't think he's so
he's probably going to be reluctant.
Right. I don't think he wants it. I think he's going to get it by accident. Or not by accident, but like, something's going to happen and he's going to get it.
Yeah, it's either by accident or he takes it reluctantly.
I thought when the lab blew up, something was going to splash on.
Yeah, I know. I saw it was all shaking, and I'm like, but I thought too in that episode when the place blew up and Zemo put on the mask, I thought his face was going to be messed up from the explosion, and I thought that's why he was going to keep the mask on. But then he took the mask right off, and I'm like,
because that's part of his story from the comics is his face gets disfigured, and that's why he's wearing the mask. So. Lone Wolf here. I shall provide a line, make the plan, execute the plan. Oh, he's talking about Snart. That's one of Snart's lines, like throw away the plan. Like you make the plan and then you just throw the plan away.
Make the plan.
That sounds like us playing a lot of raids in video games where you just make the plan and then it never works or whatever.
For the Final Fantasy 14 raids.
Yeah.
We all used to play.
Yeah, Introverted Unicorn, $5 super chat. They could figure out the issue with Ant-Man shrinking weight issues, time travel. I knew they would mess up. I was not as worried about the Ant-Man stuff because Ant-Man's kind of a ridiculous character anyway. The time travel stuff affects so much of the stories going forward that Ant-Man's the least of my problems. Ant-Man to me was kind of a joke character anyway. I like the movies, but he's just there to be a kaiju, to be a mini character and then be a kaiju. And that's pretty much it. Wow, is Cyber Ronald McDonald?
Oh my god,
what is that for?
Damn,
$5 Call me a clown? You calling me a clown?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Peggy's husband originally described as being kind of a jerk? Yeah, but I thought that was the joke. I think was that he went back to be with her, and then everyone talked about him being a jerk. I thought that was kind of the joke of it all, but maybe I'm wrong. Lone Wolf here. Would you rather watch Arrow season 2 or season 5? Well, Omega hasn't watched
season 2.
Season
5.
I haven't seen any of it.
Was 5 Prometheus?
Yes.
Oh, they're both really good seasons.
I would say
2. Oh,
5.
really? I would say 2.
Prometheus is one of my favorite characters because he was
really good.
Well, just the acting between him and Oliver Queen was really strong. So I like both of them, but yeah, I'm going to go with 5.
2 for me.
Actually, I need to go back and watch season 5 again. I haven't watched it in a really long time. Is Cyber a plot hole?
Yes.
Wow. It's just,
Yep.
I don't know about that one. So right now we're literally halfway through the season.
Does your dad know you're up this late?
We're literally halfway through the season of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Are you more excited or less excited when you were compared to where you were with WandaVision in terms of?
Now that they brought the Wakandas in, I'm super interested now because they want Nemo and when basically because they didn't get clawed, they are probably not going to let Nemo slip through.
Do you think that?
Well, they did kind of get clawed, but through.
What about you, Cyber? Are you?
This has been fantastic for me. This is like I've always said. I bought Disney Plus for this series, and it's lived up to all my expectations.
So. A lot of people were wondering: would you say that Falcon and Winter Soldier, comparatively, is a much bigger and grander series than say Daredevil or Luke Cage or something like that? Like in terms of cinematography and stuff, because you think back to Daredevil had a lot of one-shot scenes.
Daredevil. I mean, Daredevil's really good, man.
Yeah.
I'm
not even a big Daredevil fan.
As a series, because I can say based on TV series, I still like Daredevil better than this. So we'll see.
So what is this, a plot hole in the Eric-verse? Eric said he would eat fairy bread, but he never has. What an issue.
True.
That was actually another version of me. We've moved. This is the Mandela effect. You think that's what I said, but that's not what I actually said.
So the internet keeps receipts. Receipts.
Yeah. Daredevil has great fight scenes, period. Not just season 1, period. Yeah. I'll be straight up, I was not a huge Daredevil fan. I mean, I knew him and I liked him, but after I saw the show, I was like, I'm totally a Daredevil fan now.
Yeah.
Just a totally different
I'm
one.
a cosplay as him.
So last question before we head out. Wakandan interference here. Do you think that Bucky knew about this was going to happen all along, or do you think this is totally a surprise to him?
He probably expected it sometime down the line. He probably didn't know when, but he probably expected it.
I'm wondering if he broke out Zemo knowing that they would come after Zemo. He already knew about it.
I don't know. I don't know if he thought that far.
Sam warned him. Yeah. He's like, you don't think Wakanda's just going to forget about this? He said that
because they didn't.
Right.
He probably didn't think that far ahead, so he was probably just expecting them to show up sometime. That's why that's why he wasn't too miffed when he said, "No, I'm just going to go for a walk."
Semi-surprise. Cody says he thinks that Bucky's working with Wakanda. Sam did warn him. He did. Yeah. He did. He told him so I'm very excited. We've been starved for the MCU for so long. We've had consistent DC stuff. I mean, they've delayed it, but we've had DC stuff. We really haven't had. I think they said it had been 2 years now since we had a Marvel film based on the time release of Black Widow now, because it would have been beyond the Spider-Man film that we got right after Endgame. So it's been 2 years since we had anything in the MCU. These shows for me have so far felt cinematic enough that it's almost like a movie.
It's pretty much like a movie. Like I said yesterday, it's I literally forgot I was watching the show.
Yeah. So I'm very, very hyped for this. And by the way, Black Widow, are we doing a theater thing or are we just watching it at home?
I want to do a theater thing because when we talk about Godzilla and Kong earlier, if I would have saw that in the theater, I would have been absolutely amazed with all the fighting that was going on. When you see it at home, you kind of lose a little bit of that action with the noise.
I have a feeling by the time Black Widow comes out, we should all three be vaccinated, which means that we won't have a high risk. We can go out and watch it. Yeah. And, we actually got my email today that I can go ahead and get my first dose. And we were going to do it today, but apparently they didn't have any room for us. So we'll have to wait. But we're literally in the list to go. So, and apparently on I think the 16th of this month, everyone will be eligible if you're 16 and older, if you want to get your vaccination. So I think that's great. Now, Cyber said that he thought work was going to make it available or whatever, right? And they haven't made it mandatory.
Well, they might have. I just don't know if I'm eligible being away from work. So
yeah, I'm probably not eligible either. That and I don't have a car.
Wow. Okay. So
I have a car, but it's kind of busted out. I'm just gonna probably get rid of it.
Wow, Tom says didn't feel any different watching Godzilla and versus Kong in cinemas.
Yeah, honestly, didn't feel any different either. It was fine.
Yeah. I will say that
I love the theater experience.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah,
I want to see Taskmaster and Black Widow jumping around from plane part to plane part, fighting in the sky
while
on
we're
a
eating
big screen.
Pizza at Cinema Cafe. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Last one here, super chat before we wrap this up. You got it in right at the last moment. Legends of Tomorrow season 2 or Flash. That's easy. Flash season 2.
Yeah, Flash season 2.
That's the Zoom season. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Zoom was my favorite.
That's like my favorite
Flash
season
one.
of the Flash. Like I've already said that season 1 and season 2 kind of bounced around for me, but I think there's better episodes.
Zoom was awesome. I love
Zoom dragged Barry by his head through the streets. Like no one's done that except for Zoom. Are you kidding me? What kind of question is this? Anyway, just joking. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Anyway, we're out of here. Thank you guys so much. If you have not watched my review with Omega on Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's available on my channel now. And we have some stuff coming up for Team Eric members. We're going to be talking about Batman and Robin from 1997. We're going to work on that this week. I made these two guys sit through that movie so we can do it as a video for Team Eric members. So go ahead and hit the join button now. Become a member of Team Eric so you can watch us painfully talk about Batman and Robin. Because I was like this the entire time. It's going to be a very painful review. So
it's a prop, by the way, YouTube.
Yeah.
That's a prop.
No, Lucifer's all me. But the Batman and Robin stuff is going to be with them. So anyway, check that out. Anything you guys want to say before we head out? Any shout outs or anything? Because I know Cyber, you're not doing a lot right now. So
I'm not, but if you guys want to, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to start doing podcasts there instead of over at Twitch, but my gaming stuff will still be over at Twitch. I'm hoping this week to get down here and be able to clean up this area and make it comfortable for me to be able to sit for long sessions, but definitely go over there. They're both free to follow. And if you're already following Eric's verse or Team Eric because you want to see me, I understand. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button over there. You can see me there too.
What about you, Omega?
I have some upgrades coming in soon. I may get a second computer so I can actually do some more of my artwork and stuff. I just posted a picture on DeviantArt not too long ago. I'm probably going to start posting more on Twitter also, maybe, so you can follow me there. But I do stream on Twitch sometimes when I feel like it, and not just recently. So I'm just coming there whenever.
All right. Well,
that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, join us next week. We'll be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier again. We might talk a little bit about Black Widow since we haven't really done a whole segment on that.
Or maybe we'll throw that at the beginning.
So yeah, if we get some more news, we may get some more stuff between now and next Sunday. But until next time, we will see you guys later. So have a good night. Take care.
After dark.